In the Galen Center, which was at the time still being constructed for the Grand Finals, the impromptu Day 4 commenced in the Season 2 World Championship. The day began with the continuation of CLG EU versus World's Elite that never finished in Day 3. It was agreed upon by Riot that rather than redoing the entire best-of-3, one game would decide the entire series. In the final match, WE obtained control early on. First blood and multiple early game skirmishes went in their favor. WE kept the aggression, but it backfired when they forced a fight through Froggen's Wall of Pain.
They can see the clear ups there, they might catch the up out. Instead, Team WE want to engage this one. Messiah's taken very low. Froggen's going to get dropped in this one, but they're all stood in there. And no, Froggen still has not gone down. There's the ultimate, now he's going to get dropped. Messiah's going to go down off the back of that. You can see Wei Zhao's also down, Olaf's down. TLG picking up multiple kills off the back of that. You can see Messiah also going to get dropped in there. Wicked dive straight in. They can take the Baron off the back of this one. Snoopy is still alive, but more importantly, Yellow Pete and Wicked are there to tank it out.
It was the swing fight CLG EU needed for their late game comeback. CLG EU obtained Baron twice and the team fought their way to victory to the relief of casters D-Man and Jad.
The game that never ended but could well be over shortly. Team WE started off so well, there it is, that's going to be the Vladimir ultimate, they're going on towards Wicked, but Messiah already damaged to Snoopy is going to get dropped on the back. You can see Wicked diving in there, it's actually a good fight for Team WE here. Could they get the damage down? Salme tried desperately to get in there, but Yellow Pete again, off the side, shredding them down. Guardian Angel popped by Messiah, he's going to spawn. They're trying to take Yellow Pete down, they will. They're going to get him down. FCZF drops off the back of the Froggen ultimate, and there is Yellow Pete. Come back from the Guardian Angel as of course, and CLG come out 4-on-1. Surely the game is now over. Chat, it is going to finally end.
First up in the semifinals was the Moscow 5 versus Taipei Assassins. Both teams have been undefeated to this point in the World Championship. However, the community fully expected Moscow 5 to move on to the Grand Finals. In the first game, the community's prediction seemed right. Moscow 5 obtained the lead from an early game skirmish that TPA initiated to kill Gosu Pepper.
See, quite low health going into a fight. They initiate down bottom. A beautiful job there. They called in the stand united for the fight. Diamond Prox coming in very big. He charges in to get the kill. Alex Ish coming up with that one onto Kog'Maw. BB trying to blast out the true damage. And we are going to find Mistake on the chase. Stanley is quite hurt as well. Darian coming down to assist the fight. This is going to be huge for Moscow 5 if they can continue to micro themselves out of the damage. Little Balls is left by himself as Royce flashes away. The triple kill for Moscow 5. Darian coming up huge. 4 altogether.
From then on, the Moscow 5 held on to that lead and won every single skirmish and teamfight from then on and snowballed their way to a decisive Game 1 victory. However, Game 2 was a completely different story. TPA made aggressive level 1 plays that ended in their favor.
So much stronger. And they've got the stun on the Gosu Pepper.
Gosu not looking good, and this may be the first blood coming out, and BB comes up strong. A full assist to the rest of the team. Another invasion coming in here. The red buff dot, or the dot is still there for Diamond. He can see that they're taking this because the skull is still on the map for him. He looks to go in. He will not be able to get it. It goes to Maokai, and they're going to be forced. No, actually, Little Balls, or he did get that, sorry. Diamond does pick up his red buff. They take out Mistake in this situation. Alex coming up with a kill for himself. Genja forcing himself into this fight, flashing over the wall. And BB rather could pick himself up a kill here. Beautiful shield coming from Oriana.
From then on, all of TPA won their lane through Mistake's Tarek roams or flat-out 1v1s. The Taipei Assassins took Game 2 in a decisive manner. The Moscow 5 did not obtain a single objective. The final match of this series was all about Taipei Assassins' ability to control the map. TPA ran a split push composition with Stanley on Italy top. Moscow 5 was unable to answer the split push in the early game. By the 20-minute mark, TPA had taken both inner and outer turrets top and bot while Moscow 5 had no objectives to their name. They were on defense the entire time with no answer to the continual pressure exerted by TPA. The Assassins obtained Baron off this strategy as well as winning multiple teamfights in the process.
This is not looking good for Moscow 5. The ultimate onto Little Balls. They are going to drop Alex. The Guardian Angel triggering his Diamond. Dragon's descent to the middle of the fight to blow cooldowns for his team. Toys, so much damage going down to him. And they are able to back this one out as he comes up from Rebirth. BB focusing onto the inhibitor. It looks like they drop it. Stanley doing so much work up top. Going to drop his own inhibitor as well. 2 go down at the 42-minute mark. And TPA looks to just hang out in Moscow 5's base.
TPA shocked the world by eliminating the Moscow 5 from Worlds and moving on to the Grand Finals. The Taipei Assassins was the first international team to beat the Moscow 5. The last two remaining teams were Azubu Frost and CLG EU. It was another hotly contested series that won all 3 games. Game 1 went to CLG EU. This time they won with a team composition that mainly consisted of heavy poke and disengage. They were able to siege all lanes and fend off anything Azubu Frost had because their team composition did not have good initiation. Game 2 went completely in favor of Azubu Frost. They stomped CLG EU in all faces and Azubu Frost ended with the perfect game with 0 deaths. With 2 one-sided games from each team, we move on to a hyped final match of the series. Game 3 was all about Shy Singed. Despite losing his top lane turret, he was able to free farm and became gigantic in the mid game to the point where he was uncontrollable.
And they're going to try to run him down. They have potentially 3 men coming to gank here. He's got ult and ghost to try to get away from this one.
There's the twisted advance and the knockup. They're going to get the damage. Broggen's just waiting in the wings. He's going to realize that Dark Binding comes if he goes that way. Snoopy taken down very low. He's got to back off there. Snoopy goes down to the ignite and the poison from Shy there. Now Wicked is in trouble. Shy 2v1 in CLG EU.
By the mid-game, Azubu Frost had better late-game scaling than CLG EU. Azubu Frost was too tanky and CLG's team composition did not output enough damage to stop them. CLG EU tried their best to stall, but Azubu controlled the entire game up to the last teamfight of the series.
He's not worried, and that's going to be the turret going down. There we go. There's going to Crescendo going across. Shy is going to get dropped down. No! He's just going to troll and run away. Finally goes down. Froggen ultimate. He's going to manage to get Sonya's hourglass, but Rapid Star is in there. Woog is in there, destroying the opposition. Greppo's going to dunk down. They have super minions coming up the mid lane. This could well be the end.
That's an ace!
That's a triple goal. That's the ace. That is the game. Azubu Frost are in the finals against Taipei Assassins. They have done it. They've managed to make it in there. Coming back from a 2-1 just like Taipei Assassins did against Moscow 5. And that is CLG and the whole of Europe out of the tournament in the semi-finals. Fantastic, perfectly executed moves by Azubu Frost.
It was Azubu Frost versus the Taipei Assassins in the grand finals. One team was the favorite to win the world championship since their qualification. They were considered the best in Asia for their sheer dominance in Korea. The other team was a complete unknown to the entire community until their massive upsets against the tournament and fan favorites Najin Sword and Moscow 5. By the time October 13th came around, they were a fan favorite and the crowd in the USC Galen Center was all in for TPA.
How much pressure, and it seems the crowd have a favourite at this tournament. It's hard to argue with.
That is just awesome.
That is awesome. I mean,
it was time for the grand finals between Azubu Frost and Taipei Assassins. After the orchestra opening ceremony and the revealing of the Summoner's Cup, the crowd and the whole world was hyped for this best-of-5 finale of Season 2. And the two teams delivered an epic showdown. Game 1 was a slugfest. The tone was set at level 1 in the bot lane.
Buy wards a bit, and that bottom lane, BB getting poked
BB
hard early.
Very low. The exhaust had to get used. They might be able to turn this one. Had to burn the flash there. They tried to go for it. BB Madlock trying to get aggressive. He puts the ignite down on Mistake. Mistake's going to get taken low. Wound's going to have one more Mystic shot. Can he make it? No! And that's going to force Taipei Assassins back early on.
Minute after minute was constant blows exchanged by both teams. Either ganks would initiate fights that ultimately ended in a death or straight up 1v1s would occur naturally. Through these early game skirmishes, TPA won the majority of it and obtained the lead heading into the mid-game. Despite winning a few teamfights, Azubu Frost was able to swing control in their favor thanks to Rapid Star's Requiem.
TPA would want to. They might try for an engage here.
They might try and go for the gauge. There's going to be the ultimate coming out from Amumu. Isn't enough? Toys is surely going to get dropped. He's down to an egg right now. Cloud Templar is getting dived on. The damage really coming from his wound though at the back. That's
TPA's
going to be
cleaning up.
Stanley gets one. Stanley gets two. BB gets this other one. That's going to be the Cardinals ultimate. He might pop over this one. He gets the quadra kill. He gets the quadra kill off the back. My word, Stanley. No, he's trying to avoid the damage, but Woong is in there. And could Azubu Frost get a better turnaround than that?
After that fight, Azubu Frost obtained control and won every single teamfight since. Rapid Star's Karthus provided security in every fight through his Requiem and TPA was unable to answer back the damage dealt. Azubu Frost took game 1 in this dogfight. There were a total of 54 deaths in 42 minutes of gameplay. In game 2, TPA came out swinging in the early game with multiple one skirmishes that ultimately ended in a map-wide ace.
The Karthus ultimate not coming out, the sniper's going to come across, that's going to catch Madlife. Here comes the Karthus ultimate, they might get a double kill, no, a heal comes from Woong, they saved one, but that's going to be the kill of them. top lane, the bottom lane, sorry. Here we see Toys going in towards that. There's the teleport from Toys. Wall of Pain not quite landing, but Rapid Star's gonna get...
Oh, Shen too!
The rebirth wind goes in, and that's gonna be Shen coming across. They're gonna try and get out towards Shy. Rapid Star's gonna get dropped. Can they take Shy down as well? They do! And it's 3 kills. Meanwhile, down the bottom, there's another trade.
That's an ace!
It's the Soda going down. They've managed to ace them 15 minutes in with nothing happening for 15 minutes. They suddenly pull off the ace all across the map.
Once TPA took Baron, they were able to siege down the mid and bottom lanes. Azubu Frost initiated the last fight of the game as TPA took Baron.
They're going to try and get the Baron. They do. They got it very quickly. The Wall of Pain landed. The Crescendo gets across. Mad Life is going to get caught down here. First to go. He's got that Oracle. He's trying to use as much as he can. Lil Ball's getting involved. Ace in the hole being blocked off by Wu. Not the ideal target. Toys is going to get ready. Toys goes down. First death of the game. That's going to be Coley. The Requiem's going to come out. It's going to be Cloud. Double into triple kill again. Rapid Star getting caught down. Rapid Star's going to drop in the wall. Just about keeping him off. Taipei Assassins going to try and get around. They're trying to circumvent on towards Rapid Star. He's going to get caught down by Lil Balls here. That's going to be the slow. It's going to be enough damage. No! He just manages to keep him back. And Wound gets exhausted. That's going to be Wound going down. Baby manages to catch on to him. Baby gets another. Rapid Star is X. Lil Balls has got to be careful there. Towers on him. That is going to be the next one. That is going to be the ace. Taipei Assassins will take game 2.
In Game 3, the Taipei Assassins amped up the aggression from last game and terrorized Azubu Frost. Not only was Toys Oriana let through in picks and bans, but literally every single engagement went in favor of TPA.
Toys with the Zolfin back up could close this, and TPA could continue the pressure. Here they come.
And they immediately realize the pressure is on. They're going to dive in. Stanley goes launching in shockwave. Rapid Star X instantly. Rapid Star's rebirth will drop. Rapid Star goes down. Woog trying to pull something out here. Stanley with the ball on him. He's going to jump back onto Rowan. Woog going to get dropped. Taipei Assassins are destroying, one might say, assassinating Azubu Frost.
22 minutes in, Azubu Frost had enough and surrendered.
And well, I'm seeing on the screen,
There's
it is
the
a surrender!
It was the Assassins' most impressive victory yet, and leading 2-1 in the series, TPA had all the momentum going into game point. In Game 4, TPA caught out Mad Life at level 1.
He's trying to teleport. Oh, he's not going to get chance
he's trapped.
to. He is trapped. Has he managed to escape it though? With that, will that little pixie get spotted? He has. Mad Life's going to go down. There's no way in hell he's ever going to escape this one. The kill's being given to Toys, and that is first but 2 minutes gone.
30 seconds later, BB gets ahead from catching Wong.
Gets too much farm in the bottom. There's a
Woong's got caught. Woong's got caught. The exhaust goes down. He's going to catch on, and he does manage to get the kill. And that goes to BB. Could you give worse kills to Taipei Assassins?
It was the best start that TPA had hoped for to snowball the rest of the game. For the remainder of the early to mid game, most of the engagements went in favor of TPA. In a last-ditch effort, Azubu Frost forced a teamfight in an attempt to swing the game around.
Pincer move isn't going to be enough. Stan Mistake's getting caught down. Mistake's going to get burst down. That's an Oracle down. And now Wu going to come in this one. Lil Balls is trying to push the pressure. Stanley Ultimate coming on Toys. If we can pan the camera down, we might be able to catch
Shockwave!
it. Shockwave gaps up towards Madline and Rapid Star. Rapid Star gets dropped. 2 shot for Archkins across the entire team. Cloud Templar now caught out. Cloud Templar goes down to Lil Balls. They continue pushing on, and they quickly disengage. Taipei Assassins could go for what they want. The pinks go down. They're going for Baron.
Contrary to last game, Azubu Frost chose not to surrender and fend off TPA despite them having significant control. Engagement after engagement, TPA won, and eventually the last teamfight of the World Championship and Season 2 occurred at Azubu Frost's base.
Then that's going to be Cloud Templar Ultimate across, but he didn't really manage to catch on towards Stanley. There's the Lulu Ultimate, but it's not enough. There is no damage coming out from Azubu Frost. Taipei Assassins to do no. The shockwave pulls in Cloud Templar. BB picks up a kill on Chase there. Shy goes down. Mad Life getting skipped. Oriana picks up another kill. Taipei Assassins are the Season 2 World Champions. They picked up $1 million and the Summoners Cup. They are victorious. What a fantastic sight.
The Taipei Assassins took Game 4 and won the Season 2 World Championship in utter dominance. TPA carried over their success in the GPL to the international stage to stun the entire League of Legends community. They went from completely being unknown to upsetting fan-favorite teams to winning the World Championship. Through individual skill, constant aggression in the early game, and macro-oriented team play that was ahead of their time, they cemented themselves in esports history. The Season 2 World Championship was unique and different compared to all the worlds since. It brought many narratives from all over the world into the international spotlight and showcased the strengths of each region at the time. Never has a world seen so much unique strategies, very aggressive and borderline reckless level 1 plays, and memorable moments even if it came from disaster. The Season 2 World Championship was groundbreaking for its time. Over 8.2 million people watched the World Championship with 1.1 million concurrent viewers during the Grand Finals. For the year 2012, it was the most watched esports event of all time. Whether you think of CLG EU vs World Elite or the rise of the underdogs in Taipei Assassins or Silver Scrapes, the Season 2 World Championship can be remembered in fondness and nostalgia. If Season 1 Worlds can be defined as humble beginnings, then Season 2 Worlds can be called a catalyst. A catalyst to what the League of Legends esports scene can grow into and what it has become today. The introduction of the Summoners Cup, the beginning of the rise of all Asian teams, and the conveyance of the potential of the esports industry, the Season 2 World Championships had all of that. My name is Kudo, and thank you for watching this retrospective on the Season 2 World Championship. Feel free to like and subscribe or support my Patreon for more content on the history of the esports industry.
Well, what happened was we showed up. We had our friend from last night. He came with us, so we thought he was going to get the LOL thing painted on himself, but he backed out, so we didn't have an O, and it was just L and L, so it was kind of lame. So then
just walked into the venue. They were asking for a random O. I've never seen them before. They're just randomly shouting out, "We need to know, we need to know." Decided, might as well try to have some fun. Got my spray paint, ready to go.